Good morning, fellow travelers. It is day 7 of my 10-day cruise. We are in Curacao. We got here early, I think, and the first announcement they made was the one where you can only hear it in the hallways, and then they started playing with the one that you could hear in your cabins. And so they announced that the gangway was open and everything, and people could leave, and then we started hearing doors slamming, and I guess it's time I have to get up. Okay, so today, I'm going to get breakfast in a minute, but my tour doesn't leave until after 1 o'clock, so I'm probably going to go down and see what the port looks like, and if there's anything fun to do right outside the ship, or if I have to go further to do that, and, what kind of trouble I can get into. They're not kidding when they say that there's steps. So the description on the tour said that there are 50 steps to get to the caves. So these are unusual caves in that they are above ground rather than below ground. So you're going up instead of going down into the ground, which is actually probably better in my opinion. So first you go up a bit of a hill, and then you go up these uneven stone steps. There's hand railings, which does make it easier, but they are not easy steps to navigate. And so do keep that in mind if you're going to book this tour, because there definitely is no wheelchair option. There's if you've got bad knees and such, it's probably going to be a problem for you. So it was very interesting. There's only a couple of places where they let you take pictures because it is a commercial cave, and by that they mean that the people who own the cave system own the rights for anyone to basically take pictures and distribute those images. And so there's just when you first go in you can take pictures, and then after that you're not allowed to take pictures until you get to one specific what they call it a room, but it's a cave, part of the cave, and so you can take pictures there, and the guide will take pictures of you in there if you want as well. But it was beautiful. It was really nice. There were more stairs inside of it as well. So you go up at the beginning, and then you're going into the cave system, and it's all paths, and there's railings around everything, and as long as you stay on the paths you're fine. But there are stairs on those paths as well, and when you first go in you're going down those stairs. You've just come up all these stairs, so you're a little tired when you get up to the top and can go into the cave, and then you go downstairs, and oh gosh, there's probably another 15 to 20 stairs inside the cave system, I would say, all told. And so you go forward, and then there's a branch off to the left that he took us down the first time, and then we all came around back, and we went back around, and we went off to the right, and then so there were some steps to get to the branch. There were some steps, I think there were steps on there were some steps on the left branch. There were definitely more steps on the right branch than on the left. And so you go all the way through. There is one room where the ceiling has collapsed. Apparently it collapsed a very, very long time ago, like 100,000 years or something, or I forget what they said, but it's a ridiculously long time ago. It's not in the recent past at all. But so there's a hole at the top, and you've got sunlight coming in, and we actually we had rain coming in. So when we got to, just when we pulled up, it started pouring. And so we got absolutely drenched trying to climb those stairs because it's all outdoors. And so you're going up these stairs, and these really big fat raindrops are splashing all over you. You are getting completely drenched. Then you go in this cave system, and it's a little warm, but they have fans going all over the place, which is quite helpful. And so it wasn't unpleasant. There were some birds in there. There were also bats in there. He showed us the bats were small. The birds were bigger. And he said the bats go out at dusk, and I guess they come back at dawn. And otherwise, they just live on the ceiling. And he shined the flashlight up the one place where the bats were, and there were quite a few of them, but they weren't bothering us or anything. And then there were a couple of pools in the caves, and he showed us where the limestone and the water was dripping down, and that was where it's making the two halves to come together and eventually form stalagmites, and stalactites eventually come together and form what they call a column. And it was just a very interesting tour. But yeah, they're not kidding about those stairs. They really aren't. And coming back down them, if you have bad knees, can also be a challenge. They have good railings all over the place. There's a lot of railings, and that helps. But just keep that in mind when you're booking a tour. Because it was about to start pouring on us again, our guide called their supervisor and got permission for us to instead do a driving tour. We were supposed to do a walking tour downtown after we went over the bridge. We were supposed to basically have like 45 minutes of walking through the town that she was going to show us all the sights and stuff. But since it was going to start pouring again, she got permission for us instead. First, we went up to a fort, which is one of the highest points in the island. We're able to get out of the bus briefly and just sort of use that as a vantage point to take pictures. And then we got back down the hill, and we went driving through the old Jewish quarter, and they have some beautiful, I think they're called neoclassical architecture homes through there. And some of them are in just wonderful shape. Some of them are not. And it's really sad to see the ones that are not been maintained and are just waiting for someone to come and take care of them. and I got a little bit of footage of them closing the bridge. So they had I had crossed it, and then I'd gone shopping, and when I was coming back from shopping, they actually were just closing the bridge again, after it had been open to let something through, because it opens like a door, and it was just coming back, and so I got a little tiny bit of footage of that. Hi, Solo Sue here. It is the end of day 7 and our day in Curacao. So it was a really good day, actually. They picked us up after 1 o'clock, got off the ship a little bit early so that I could just kind of wander around and see what was what on the port. And they had a little shopping area with some vendors. It was a lot better looking than the one that they had for the last port, so that's nice. Right there's sort of a big roofed domed area and that you go out to once you get off the ship, and they had people for the tours waiting there with their signs, and I found the person with my sign, and we all got on the ship, or excuse me, we all got on the bus, and it was not a very far drive to the Hato Caves. But anyway, so we finished that drive. They gave us the option of dropping us where we could do shopping or taking us all the way back to the ship. Now, the only difference was it was probably only about a 5-minute walk, the difference between where they dropped us, because I actually got off because I wanted to go across the Queen Emma floating bridge, and that was where they were going to drop us off, because if you go over the bridge, then there's a big shopping area. And so I did that. It looked really familiar when we were going through, and then I remembered I had been there on that exact area. I'd done the blues cruise. I've done, I think, 7 blues cruise before. If you're not familiar, they charter an entire ship. Usually it's one of the smaller ones, like, they've done a lot of Holland America, they've done some Norwegian ships, they've done celebrity ships, but they'll basically charter the entire ship and give the entertainment staff the week off, and then they bring in a bunch of blues acts, and so it's basically a 7-day floating concert. But we go to ports, and mostly they're in the Caribbean, but they do occasionally have one that leaves from the West Coast. And so some years ago, we were at Curacao as one of our ports, and the fort that's right next to the Queen Emma Bridge is actually where they had one of the acts go and perform, so that we could go and, as part of our land-based experience, was go and hear them play there. And that was I walked up and I'm like, I have so been here before. Where's the music? But it was fun to revisit. And but yeah, it's a very interesting area, and it's a very easy walk from the ship to going to where the bridge is and where the shopping district is. The shopping district is on both sides of the bridge. You don't have to cross it if you don't want to, but yeah, it's a nice option. And there's, in addition to the regular touristy things, there's designer things. There were American brands that I recognized there, and but there were also artists who were plying their wares, and there were bars and restaurants and just gelato and all kinds of different things. So it was fun to just kind of walk around, and this is one where we were in this port till 9:30, and it's 9:14 now, which is it feels weird to be in port this late, because I walk around the ship and I'm like, why isn't everything open? Oh yeah, we're not out of port yet. and it's just kind of something to get used to. But yeah, this is the longest stay we have of all of the trips. Tomorrow we are going to be in Aruba, and I'm going to be doing an all-inclusive, so that should be fun, along with a helmet dive, which I have not done before either. So I'm looking forward to both of those, and it will be our last port of the cruise, and then we have two sea days, and we head back to Fort Lauderdale. It's been a great cruise so far. I love Enchanted Princess. She is a beautiful ship, and I'm looking forward to posting all of my videos about her and sharing her with you. Solo Sue signing off.